Hello everybody, this is NCS and welcome back to Let's Play Sengoku Gensoukyou. Last time we defeated the strongest fairy army, and today we're going to get a lot of cutscenes. Well, not from the Entei army or Hakugakure Hades, but instead from the army that has been hidden behind the strongest fairy army's lake. Yeah. So welcome to the Scarlet Devil Mansion. Many humans and yokai refuse to get close to it for many reasons, such as having to travel across the misty lake, its association with blood, the pressuring aura, and so on. Or so it should be, but since the Scarlet Mist incident, knowledge about the mansion had spread, and with the mistress throwing many parties, even humans with much courage had been known to visit the place. I would now say, like for example Marisa, but she doesn't really visit that place, she only enters it to steal some books, usually. But the fact remained that it was the residence of many fearsome yokai and a vampire. A vampire? There are two of them! People keep forgetting about the second one. So they normally did not receive many visitors, only burglars. And guarding the gate against the lack of trespassers was the yokai, Hong Mei-ling. Whew, everything's normal today. Speaking of which, it's been all normal for a while now. It's rare, but something one really gets used to. Ever since the Scarlet Mist incident, which brought Reim and Marisa to the gate, she had not needed to guard the gate from trespassers even once. That's quite a while there. I think guarding the gate would get boring then. Mei-ling's usual tension had become somewhat relaxed. This is bad, my reflexes will dull at this rate. When the body slacks, the mind will slack, then my chi will slack as well. I must train myself. Having made her decision, Mei-ling launched herself into Tai Chi Chuan dance-like move. The unique rhythm and breath control forged her chi further, allowing her to shake the ground with each step. And then... Please excuse me? A shiver ran down Mei-ling's spine as she heard someone's voice. She quickly surveyed the area, but could not find anyone around. Yet, for just a moment, she could sense its presence. It's heading towards the mansion. The feeling of the presence had then vanished, leaving Mei-ling hurriedly looking around in vain. Then, Mei-ling felt like the presence shot through her body, leaving her barely able to move. No way! All Mei-ling could do was watch as the mysterious sensation vanished off into the distance. Sorry for the random cut, but wind kept blowing into my mic. I hope it's not auto-noticeable. The great library within the Scarlet Devil Mansion. It was a massive labyrinth of books with no end in sight. The vast amount of knowledge sleeping within this library could not be absorbed in a single lifetime. It was at that location that the library's head, Patchouli Knowledge, was having an enjoyable conversation with the head of the Scarlet Devil Mansion, Remilia Scarlet. What a cute picture. Although, if you look at the lower character's right hand, her thumb looks somewhat off, but oh well. Not anymore. Ah, warm. So warm. So warm. I heard you the first time. You're interrupting my reading time. My, you're treating me like a nuisance now, Pachi. How cruel of you. A library is a place for reading books. This place is not a summer resort. Then make some ice and I'll be quiet. No, humidity is a book's worst enemy. I thought Pachiri placed a spell on her books that they couldn't get wet or something. Or maybe I'm thinking of some other character in some other show. I don't know, but I think there was some quote like that in the fighting games. My, the invincible vampire loses to the heat, I see. As the two continued their idle conversation, the headmaid of the Scarlet Devil Mansion, Sakia Izayoi, approached them with a tray holding teacups, a teapot, and a bowl of ice. Being invincible isn't the same as having no senses. Both the heat and the cold are such pains. So, do bring over that medicine of invincibility now, please. Sakia placed the tray onto the table at Remilia's urging, and proceeded to put several pieces of ice into the cups. The tea followed soon after, and Sakia then placed the cups in front of Remilia and Pachuri. Please, have a drink as well, Lady Pachuri. It is merely a very normal cup of cardamom tea. That's very thoughtful of you, thank you. There's not enough iron in this. Would mine suffice? Don't bother, it's not like yours does anything for me. Such words wound me, milady. I've been keeping my blood healthily especially for such a purpose. I seem to have cooled down thanks to you, Sakia. It's just a placebo. Taking in something cold and it not having an effect would make it a fraud. Speaking of which, the mansion appears to have taken in a cold thing as well. My, you've noticed it, milady? This kind of unearthly aura can only occur for two reasons. A certain weakling who can't control their own power, or someone who wants to stand out. But Amy, my anti-trespass barrier network isn't picking up anything. So whoever that person is, has to be one who can ignore space itself when moving around. So it either could be Komachi, or a really annoying old lady. My, that brings to mind a certain someone. It has to be me as well. A very certain someone. Shall we reveal who it is, Sakia? I'm afraid I do not have any whips or crosses at the moment. It looks like we're on different pages then. How boring. Whips and crosses, wouldn't that be the weapons they usually use, Sakia, not the weapons you want to use against them? Oh well. Although having a boomerang crucifix would be kind of nice now. Maybe we should at least give her a decent opportunity. She won't know when to show herself otherwise. How troublesome. Alright, how about letting us see your face? That's a very kind offer. No, don't get rid of the picture! Remilia called her out, and the space near the table began to distort. Yakumu Yukari then emerged from the gap. She then sat on top of the gap, looking down on the other three. You need to go through the formal procedures in order to be granted an audience with the master here. My, I went in through the front gate, you know. Would you give me your full attention then? Honestly, what do we have a gatekeeper for? Well, seriously, she was using her gaps, there's nothing she can do about that. And if somebody uses her Master Spark on her, that's kind of bad too to deal with. It's fine, her power is certainly nothing to sneeze at. I had given her orders to let through any people that she felt she couldn't handle. If she truly wanted to attack, she would be launching attacks indiscriminately from above. So, since you specifically came through the front door, that means that you are broken in many more ways than one. Looks like some repairs are needed. That's too bad, my Shikigami never need to be mended. And neither does their controller. Oops, I don't have much time here, so I'll get straight to the point. I already know what you're here for. It sounds rather interesting, so we'll do it. You already know it? Huh. You seem to have quite some good, spice, or for the lack of a better word. You have been informed about it already? Information is for the weaker beings to gather. I was informed as such during one of my elegant nighttime strolls. In other words, you overheard others talking about it. In that case, you knew about it as well, didn't you? And did I not tell you to make sure I hear about everything important? What kind of servant would bring trouble upon their master? In other words, please withdraw your consent. My, that would be disappointing. Sakia, Pachi, please begin the preparations. I shall be taking the opportunity to have a grand old time. I had predicted this would happen. This is why I didn't want to say anything about it. It seems that Amy has been waiting forever for something like this. Form is everything to a proud vampire. If I refuse to reluctantly accept the proposal rolled to me so desperately, my prestige will not increase. You certainly look happy to be doing so. I'm glad we could get this settled quickly. The strongest army right now is led by Rema, who's beaten you before. That should be enough motivation. That does not matter in the slightest. Once I've decided to do something, that's all the motivation I need. Though it's quick to wilt away as well. That's why everyone needs to work at it, so it won't wilt. Yukari Yakuma was it? As you have heard, I will go along with your plotting, so be thankful. So she knows of her plotting as well, huh? That's quite some good information you've got there. She might have heard that when Yukari and Eiki were talking about it during one nighttime cutscene. Possibly. I'm truly honored. Well then, have a good day. These are never good for a vampire. With a tiny grin, Yukari disappeared back into the gap she was sitting atop. Alright, Sakia, gather me the blood of good, law-abiding humans. Please don't make such unreasonable requests, milady. Things will get very annoying afterwards. Ch, how boring. Well, let's do this until Amy gets bored of it. I would be getting bored of it, so make sure you do your best. Moderately. Okay. And so, the Scarlet Devil Mansion, led by Remilia Scarlet, entered the fray and added their territories to the map. And with that, the Crimson SDM, so the Crimson Scarlet Devil Mansion, okay, why not, are now on the map. And another cutscene with the Yakumo family. I did not expect that. Huh. Oh well, we still have some time for that. The sun was shining brightly on the Yakumo residence. Yukari was inside, writing something or other on a map. She then sat up from her usual flat position on her futon. Watch it burn, watch it fall, the territories are now all yours. What kind of song is that? It's a song deeply rooted in the history of young maidens, of course. Since when were you a— Ow! Please stop hitting me with your parasol. You didn't know? Being a maiden is all in the mind.
Music start. Hiya, ta 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 ta. Kick punch, それのまた待て。何ですか？何よそれ。いや何ってパチェッパーラッパーですよ。流行んないよ。
The moment you stop thinking you are one is when you become old. One must always protect their feelings. That's all well and good, but it'll still be nice if you acted with the dignity that your age belies. The most fearsome are the ones who are always smiling. That's why everyone says Yuka is the ultimate sadistic creature. Yeah, so she has a point there. There isn't a single soul who could look me in the eye and not be uncomfortable. Her eyes were fixated on the map as she spoke to her Shikigami. Her words would sound impressive and threatening if it came from anyone else, but since it was from her, it was hard to take it seriously. Anyway, there's nothing too important. My plan is progressing nicely. Your plan, huh? You have been engrossed in that map recently. Dame is doing as well as I thought she would. She's already gotten this far. At the rate she's going, it'll be over sooner than I thought. Well, we are in episode 31 already, so it's taken quite a while, Yukari. Wouldn't that be for the best? The longer this drags on, the more likely the people involved in this will become angry about it. That shouldn't be a problem. They all joined of their own will. Well, there's a few who figured out what I've been aiming to accomplish. By the way, I've been wondering for a while. This game that you got all of Gensoukyou involved in, isn't it just your way of having some fun? My, just what do you take me for? Such belligerent words from my Shikigami, I fear a whack with a parasol is going to come up. The next scene, yeah. Ow, I'm sorry, I'm terribly sorry, so please stop hitting me. But Lady Yukari, if there's something deeper, you haven't explained it at all. I would expect my Shikigami to be able to figure it out by herself. For convenience sake, I labeled this as a game, but it is much more. Just how much more, you ask? It's important enough that it might well affect the future of Gensoukyou. That's ridiculous. Is the truth? Well, if it doesn't work, I suppose things should still be fine. Lady Yukari, if it concerns Gensoukyou, is it really okay to treat it so lightly? Yes. It's partly just my wish as well, anyway. Now then, Naran, please call your own Shikigami over. You mean Chen? We need as much help as we can get. It won't be long before Reima makes her way here, so we must prepare for that now. I don't think Chen will be as helpful as you would think. Ran, you always try not to make use of your Shikigami. The best way to optimize a Shikigami is to give them orders to follow. The reason why you're such an excellent Shikigami is because I make use of you very often, don't you see? Oh, I see. I thought you were just incredibly audacious to make me do the things you ordered me to. But now I know why. Did I hear something that I may not have wanted to? It must be your imagination, Lady Yukari. Anyway, I should go and call Chen over. Very well. I'll be taking a nap then, so please handle the rest. Lady Yukari. Good grief. As soon as she said what she wanted, she just goes and falls asleep. Anyway, I suppose I'll try to use Chen a little more. Yukari always made sure to keep the important parts unclear. But she has her reasons for doing so. Or at least, that's what Aran hoped. And yeah, now we could potentially attack the, Yukari's army as well. Although, yeah, we first have to annihilate the entire Hakagakure Hades. Well, not the entire, but it would be for the best to have as few armies as possible when attacking the final army. Well, that's what they're treated. I mean, Yukari is the one plotting all and everything. But, yeah, we also have the Scarlet Devil Mansion on our map now, so, well, before we attack them, first of all, I would want to recruit the enemies that we captured last time. But before that, yeah, the timer has gone on for quite some time there, so, yeah, I'll leave that for the next episode. So, this was NCS, and farewell for now.